and I know some other people are going to jump in, and then also everybody will probably watch the recording. But as we've all talked about all week, Diane, you've just been doing amazing lately. I mean, adding coaches and your volume every week. You've been on the board, I don't know how many weeks in a row. So in our little group of leaders, we were trying to think of people, special guests and stuff, and your name came up. So we thought it would be awesome to have you come share some tips with us about just what you've been doing, not necessarily differently, but consistently to get on the board each week. And unless anybody else has anything right off the bat, I say we just turn it over to Diane.
Okay.
We go from there.
Great. Do you have, can I screen share on here?
Yes, you can.
I can. Let's see. How do I, oh, there we go. Okay. So let me pull up my thing here. I don't want that. Where is my, there it is. Okay. So can you see that?
Yes. Look at you all making a slideshow on everything.
Official, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's amazing what you can do with uninterrupted time, no distractions at Starbucks. So, well, thank you guys. As what I wanted to say first is that this is such an honor to be invited and asked to do a presentation because I remember being on my first few calls and just kind of being like nervous to even ask a question and, you know, when to jump in and when to say like, excuse me, like feeling like I had to put my hand up. And so I always knew that I wanted to be, you know, part of the team where I would be contributing. So this is a true honor and thank you very much. So, okay. The presentation I did tonight is basically the way that I have been going forward is this very concept, basically dress for the job you want. We've always heard it, you know, when you go on a job interview, you always want to like dress the part and live that life you are trying to create for yourself. So interestingly, my son graduated today from 5th grade, and the presentation from the teacher or the words from the teacher to them were going into middle school, you know, start middle school with the end in sight. Like, so start from the end and then begin. So, you know, how do you want your 8th grade to look? What do you want it to be like? Do you want to be on the National Honor Society? Do you want to be a, you know, better athlete? But start there and then back up to do whatever you need to do to get there. So basically that's what I've been doing is like fake it till you make it. Being, you know, my goal is to be a, you know, multi-star diamond coach. Hell, my goal is to be top coach, right? So you have to start living that life and doing those things that those people would be doing. So that is what the theme of this presentation is. So just a little bit about me. Most of you know me, but my coaching journey started 2 years ago, almost to the day, June 30th. And it is, you know, always been a passion of mine to help people. And I've been a nurse for over 20 years. And, you know, but helping people was sort of at my own expense. And I never really learned how to help myself. I've struggled with depression. I had a divorce at like 22 years old with some ugliness associated with that. So I had a lot of insecurity and anxiety going forward about myself, you know, about your self-worth. So I just really didn't do a great job taking care of myself, but other people I could take care of them. A lot of envy, and I call it the wouldn't it be nice syndrome. You know, wouldn't it be nice if I could have time to work out? Wouldn't it be nice if I could have time to make healthy meals? Whatever it may be, it was always looking at somebody else, being envious of what they had, and the wouldn't it be nice, and just feeling like if I had what they had, you know, it would be easier for me. And it was a real transformation that came about with coaching to learn that you have to make that. You make what you want. And now I envy no one because I know that I'm on a plan, I'm in a path toward wherever I'm supposed to be, you know, based on what I choose to do for my, you know, for my actions. How I get to where I want to be is all my doing. So, and another thing is, why did I become a coach? The bottom line is somebody invited me. That's a huge point, and it's going to come up later, is that don't be afraid to invite people. Somebody invited me. Jessica, I had, done some challenge group work with her before, and she just happened to say, hey, have you ever thought about coaching? I think you'd make a great coach. And of course I said no. But just the question, and you never know what that question is going to do for somebody. It just gets the ball rolling. And I started thinking, hey, you know what? I think I could be a good coach. I really enjoyed, in the challenge group, I found I was the one motivating others and kind of collaborating with her, and it was fun and it kept me accountable. So, and then through my coaching journey, I got to meet all of you, and it has been absolutely phenomenal, and it just gets better all the time. So I want to, basically, when you go forward dressing for the job you want, you need to have a clear vision of what that is. So basically you're acting for the life you want. What does that look like? So I put together, I want to show you my vision board, and it could stand to be updated, but let me see, I gotta get this little pointer here. So as you can see up here, it's a little bit cut off, but this is like a Pottery Barn dining room table. And we did this at a yoga studio that I go to with another life coach. And this is, Pottery Barn dining table. So it means a lot to me to have, family over and entertain and not worry about what it's going to cost. And that Pottery Barn table, not worrying about what that costs, and being able to have the freedom to decorate my house and do landscaping and all those kind of things. Because, the reality is we usually don't have a lot of extra money, when you're working that 9-to-5 job. This is our cabin by the lake where we can sit out and have coffee. This is the sunroom. And so when I talk about creating that vision, it's not just a vision, it's literally all the senses involved. So I can smell what that room smells like, and I can hear the water hitting that dock. And you have to know, like, those are the things that get me motivated to do the stuff that isn't so wonderful to get me to that point. So if the vision isn't clear and you don't really know what you're working towards, it's kind of hard to do those monotonous things like a power hour and invite people and do all that stuff if you don't know where it's taking you. So obviously super fit, crazy fit. Yoga is a huge passion of mine. So, developing my yoga practice to the point of even becoming certified to teach yoga. Different mantras about self-care and motivation and reaping our harvest, basically like, planting the seeds for that harvest later on. So everything we do every day is the seeds for that great harvest. And this got cut off a little bit, is my amazing home office. That is where it all happens. So, like I just mentioned, what do you want that perfect life to look like? What does it look like for you? How will you feel when you are where you want to be? Will you be more relaxed? What will you do with your time? Will you travel? Will you volunteer? This is what I'm talking about, having that vision incredibly clear. What do your finances look like? Do you have enough money in the bank to be comfortable? Or do you have enough money in the bank to pay for all your kids to go to college, as well as have that new Range Rover or whatever it is that excites you? Know what car is that? Does it even matter to you? It might not matter to you. You may want to have enough money where you can donate money and give to charities. But right now you're living paycheck to paycheck. So if, make that clear, how will your life be easier when you have developed this life that you're trying to create? Where do you live? Do you have a second home? Do you live by the water? Right now, do you live in an apartment and you would love to have a home? So all of these things help you, if they're clear, to do the day-to-day things I'm going to talk about. And I think this is really important, is you need to know what makes you a special coach. I mean, anybody who attended Summit last year, Carl Zeichler stood up there and he said, we are all selling the same thing. Hundreds of thousands of coaches selling Shakeology and challenge packs. And so, like, why should somebody work with you Why should they trust you? And why would they want to join your team? What makes you special? Because we're really selling something else. You're selling something, and you need to know what that is. Personally, my brand is associated with really tying in, not just losing weight, but how wellness and your health really crosses a dimension, all 5 dimensions of health, being emotional and spiritual. And so we talk about that. And I've put a lot of time into developing my 30-day challenge group that repeats every month, because I used to just have this one group, and if somebody was interested, I'd throw them in it, and I would do it in the same group that graduates were in. So I felt like the content was redundant. If I didn't cover the basics, then the people that were new were lost. And if I constantly covered the basics, then the people that were there for longer were bored. So I developed a 30-day onboarding brand new challenge group, which I put in, and as soon as they've graduated from that, they move into my lifer. And I have that one also in the My Challenge Tracker, because I found they really enjoyed tracking their progress and keeping it, because they were kind of bummed that they would lose it. So that's what they get from me. And I know that. I am confident. That's what I share. I'm not just sharing hey, want to lose 10 pounds in a month? I'm talking about and listening from starting conversations with people, what part of that would speak to them. And then that's how I individualize my conversation with them. But I know exactly what I'm offering them. So what are you offering your challengers, your customers? And own it, understand that and know what you're doing, who you are. A major thing, and I think this is really what was the turning point for me, is knowing what your obstacles are, what stands in your way. I am absolutely incredibly distractible. I mean, I can be, I had every intention in the world, drop my kids off at school, sit down, come home, have breakfast, start going through Facebook, and then before I know it, it's 2:00. I have to pick my kids up, and I'm so aggravated with myself because I blew an entire day. I have to work at the hospital the next 3 days. I got nothing done. I didn't clean my house, and beat myself up. So I had to enlist the help of a coach. I literally got my own life coach that she holds me accountable. I pay her a lot of money, which I found a way to get reimbursed, because she's also a social worker. So we've figured that out. Now I get, after a certain amount, all my money reimbursed. So it's really wonderful. But she's amazing at keeping me accountable and giving me jobs. And there's no way I'm going to show up next week and do what she said or what we planned together. So are you shy? Are you insecure? All of these things play a role. So you have to work on those things, because you can't overcome them if you don't know what they are. So, money, this is a huge one. I think that I have some coaches come on board, and, they go inactive, and you say, what's going on? Why, how come that the Shakeology that you said made you feel so amazingly better? You didn't get it. Well, I couldn't afford it this month. And I know that there's a lot of situations that happen, and roadblocks, and there's divorces that are happening, but you just want them to understand that if we work together, I can literally not only get that paid for you, but put a few extra bucks in your pocket. So that's an obstacle for them. So you have to help people overcome their own obstacles to work with them. And you want to share these with somebody who is not going to support your excuses and justify your laziness. And this is huge, because this is that mom group or the people at work who, when you talk about how you can't lose weight, they're not the ones that say, well, let's help you figure out a plan. They're the ones that say, oh, honey, you have 2 kids. What do you think? They justify, because they also are either out of shape or don't feel good. So they chime on and just, they validate your negative experiences. They don't help you move forward. So don't share what you want to do with somebody like that. Have an accountability person. For me, it is my coach that holds you accountable and holds the bar up here where they know you can get to it. So that is really important. So these are basically, this is like the nuts and bolts of what I've been doing personally. So those are all very important to do. Know your vision, but you got to execute it. So, the book I'm reading right now It is, if anybody wants a good book to read, it is called Good People by Anthony. I think it's Diane or Jean. I'm not sure how to say his name. But this is, it's a really great book because I truly feel that being a good leader is about being a good person. And those are the kind of people I want to attract on my team. I have, kind of turned away people that were thinking about being on my team because they were not my tribe at all. They were extremely like hardcore, like trying to find a different way to sell as much as they could. And I don't want those people associated on my team. That's not the vision or the brand that I want to put forward. So just one little quote here, and it happens to be from Bono, is idealism detached from action is just a dream. But idealism allied with pragmatism, with rolling up your sleeves and making the world bend a bit, is very exciting. It's very real and it's very strong. So your idealism, your vision is not going to go anywhere until you have a plan. So the plan is, and this is the stuff that's not always so pretty, but this is the stuff that every single person that is up on that stage, getting a lead, getting multi-star diamond coaches do. And they do it without exception. Nobody's getting to the top of any of these groups or teams without these, these monotonous activities. So how do you make them easier and more streamlined and more automatic? So for me, these things have really helped, is using a calendar and literally scheduling my time. Like scheduling the power hour, my more creative time, and really sticking to it. Because I would say like, I'm gonna work on my business after I drop my son off, but if somebody called me and said, hey, want to get coffee, I would go. And because I'm thinking to myself, like, that's where, dress for the job you want and actually work for the job you want kind of can get a little bit confusing. So heading out and getting that coffee because, hey, I'm an entrepreneur and of course I can do that because my time is mine and it's free. It's free to do whatever I want, but yet that coffee cost me all day and I didn't do anything to get me towards my goal. So you have to really balance that, again, idealism with the work, the getting down and dirty. So if we have time, I'll actually show you, because I'm afraid, honestly, that I'm going to lose all this if I try to get too crazy. So, but I will show you my Google Calendar. And if we don't have time, I'll actually throw it up live in the group, in our Facebook group. So stick to your schedule. If you say you're going to work your business, work your business. If a day before, like some things have gotten a little crazy for me the past couple of days, we have a wedding tomorrow. My mother-in-law flew in from Florida today. Last night was an unexpected band concert that my son didn't tell me about. So I literally just went on my calendar and I moved it. I moved the hour and I did it anyway. So it's got to be a non-negotiable if you want this to happen. Using some form of tracking to guide and log your contacts is critical. So TeamZ, I did it before, and I don't think I did it consistently because the rest of these factors weren't working for me. So I just saw it as $30 a month. But this time I did it again. I used a different email, got myself an extra 30 days trial, and it's really working for me this time. So again, the distractibility I have, it is very, very focused and I get my stuff done and I can see it up on the dashboard, like, okay. And yeah, they throw some names out to you. And if I don't feel it to talk to those people, like, I just don't feel like it would be authentic, I skip them. And I really, what I did too is I went through and I really ranked the people like it says to do for, how likely they are to be, to join you in any aspect of your business. And I did it accurately. So now the people, I find I'm not skipping as many people. So, and if I do skip them or I really don't think that they're going to play a role, I got rid of all, because I had downloaded all of my contacts before and they were coaches and stuff. So I just felt like it was really like a lot of work to weed through the people that obviously I'm not going to call or comment and not waste my time, but waste my power hour on chatting with people who are already coaches. So I really cleaned it up and tightened it up so it really works for me very well right now. Developing templates. And this is like for things you are frequently finding yourself talking about. So I found I'm always getting asked, tell me about your challenge group. I'm getting leads from Beachbody. And what was happening was, and this is where TeamZ's really, really helped me, is that I automatically, you see when you get a new customer from Beachbody now, if you look every day and add them to TeamZ as a new contact, then I immediately go. And what I did was, I mean, there are so many I missed because I wasn't being consistent that I'm not going to go back, because it's usually like a 0.1% chance of anything turning over and giving you any business anyway. But I'm still going to try and do this very officially from now on. So I went back and I only contacted the people from May, because anybody longer than that, their 30-day free trial of Team Beachbody is long gone. So for me to call them and say, hey, like, how can I help you is kind of a moot point. So I have to like let that go and move forward. So, but I've developed templates. And again, I did a Google document that I will also share in the group that shows what my emails look like. So put some thought into them. Really think about what you want to say, because if you do that every single time you're trying to email somebody, you're wasting a lot of time and energy. We're saying the same thing to these people who are asking those initial questions. So really put together an email that you're proud of, and an email that you can just copy paste, personalize it a little bit, and send it off. And then that is, boom, that's how your power hour really goes fast. You're not reinventing the wheel with each person, but I felt like I was like, oh, I got to respond to them, and I'm typing out, and what did I say to that person? And I'm scrolling through like Facebook Messenger to see who I had last sent that similar kind of a conversation to, and it just took so much time. So, and as I said before, do not be afraid to share and invite. Little quick story, and this is, my daughter just sang the national anthem a couple of weeks ago at the Wounded Warriors softball game. And number one, talk about like trying to show up for game day. She was sick as a dog. And I was terrified that she was going to butcher the national anthem in front of all of these people. So she managed to pull it together and show up. And of course, I was extremely proud of her. And as we were leaving, there was a man there, and he said to her, shook her hand and said, that was great. You did a great job. And turns out he was this amazing trauma surgeon that I know from Rhode Island Hospital, that I had mentioned to her before, because her interest is going into trauma medicine, that, oh my God, if I could connect you with Dr. Haida, they would be just a fantastic person for you to connect with. So he's there. She just finished the national anthem. He shakes her hand, and I said, Dr. Haida? And he says, yeah. I said, hi, my name's Diane Mahoney. I have worked with you at Rhode Island Hospital. Now, I was the assistant manager in the recovery room, and I said, at Hasbro. So my worked with him was, I shadowed in the OR one time, and he did an operation. So, but again, fake it till you make it. I said, we'd work together. He said, oh, yeah. And I said, funny, I was just talking to my daughter the other day who's interested in going into trauma medicine, that that if there was anybody that she could talk to and shadow, it would be you. So, long story short, we got into talking about shadowing, and he now knows who she is. She's the girl who killed the national anthem. He knows she's interested in it. I have his email, and I'm going to put her in contact with it. So she was terrified in the beginning, and we're walking away. She's like, I can't believe you just did that. I said, you can thank me later. So don't be afraid to talk to people and invite and share what you have to offer. So in order to do that, though, you have to believe in what you offer. So if you don't believe in what you offer and what you have for them, then really, why should they? And that will come across in your presentation or your lack of confidence in what you have. So again, this all goes to the 4 vital behaviors. You're using the products. They're giving you results. They're improving your life. So that's what you're sharing. So you're not selling, you're sharing. And this has been a point that we talk about all the time. So another thing that I've been trying to do is literally organize all of my stuff that I put into an ad or, Facebook into folders, because I find them forever. I was scrolling through and looking for, where's that fat picture of me, looking through the my photos. So that, again, takes time. So try to take some time after your power hour. It's like a little reward I give myself. Once I do my power hour, I reward myself with organizing time. You can't do it before, because who cares if you organize your pictures if you have no customers. So, and have a marketing plan. And I'm going to show you that on my next slide, what that looks like. And this really helps to guide your workflow. And so much of this stuff that I have developed has been through just researching myself. What do the top coaches do? What do their calendars look like? YouTube, Melanie Mitro, daily calendar, and look at her video, because she shows it. She's not afraid to share what works for her. And use some kind of format to schedule your posts. Because I was getting up every day. I'd have a challenge group and no plan. So I would be like, oh my God, I got to get up before 5 a.m. So I'm up before them and I get a post out. Well, save yourself the aggravation and have your content. And now having the content also helps. But so now I have that group and I load it up. And so those posts are going out no matter what. And then I can just be free to engage with those people. So this is a copy. This is just one of my marketing plans from April. So it all is about timing. So if you see here, this is actually, it starts in the first here, but this is actually back in March. So I would be posting about my free group, and even the week before, like as you see, the end of April, it's that business opportunity event. So that would have also been the end of March, leading into and hopefully populating this new coach university. And yes, I run a new coach university, even though that is supposed to be for diamond coaches, because I went through and found the training materials. I downloaded them, I printed them, I highlight, I load through Hootsuite that group. And if I have one new coach, I do it officially. I put them through a university as if I had thousands of coaches. And then this is a free group. So again, that was a big thing with Angie. And I strongly recommend, if you have not watched her recording, that you go back and watch it, because I'm not going to talk about that. But having a marketing plan too is knowing each month what your free group topic is going to be, because that will hopefully get you a little bit of interest and populate your 30-day challenge group. So as you can see, here's the challenge group ad. Then you chat about it every day on Facebook or whatever your social media platforms are, just trying to get that group going. And then once that group is started, and that's pretty automatic, all my posts are locked and loaded, I then start focusing on, I put an ad here for coaching, talking about why you want to be a coach and what coaching has done for me. Again, it's not that scripted stuff. It's authentic and genuine. What has coaching done for you? And, don't talk about how coaching has allowed you to retire your husband if you have not retired your husband. Talk about really what coaching has done for you, not what it could do for you, what it has done for you, because that's going to speak to more people than you telling them what is possible in the company, because they're going to say, well, how come that hasn't happened for you? So talk about how you now can, pay for some groceries. You've been able to pay for dance class. You've been able to, pay your car payment, whatever it is, that's going to speak to those people who are looking for that relief or that experience. So just be you, again, all the time, being who you are. So, I've talked about this before. Doing this every single month will ensure you're going to hit Success Club. It gives you a guided workflow when you sit down at your computer to know what to do. I'm not going to be working on, free group stuff when I'm supposed to be talking about the business. It helps you know what you're going to put on social media. So, and you can tweak some stuff and put it aside and reuse it, again, in those folders. This happens every month. So, the guts of what you're putting out there, just tweak it, change the name, change some pictures, and you have another coach ad. So, and again, the business opportunity event, once you get that done, it's the same thing. You're going to really, because you're talking to new people. So don't feel like you have to always be generating brand new stuff. And social media. So social media, is like our business, most of our business, a huge, huge chunk. We are talking to people in person, and we are out there in our lives with our coworkers and our family trying to demonstrate a healthy life. But social media is really where people link with you and, choose to connect, especially when we're expanding into other states and now into other countries. So, Facebook Live, do not be afraid of Facebook Live. You are going to make a video that absolutely sucks. And you're going to, and you know what, when it's all over, just don't post it, but some of them are going to be awesome. And the ones that suck, sometimes post them anyway, because that's who you are. You are not perfect. That's what it is. It's Facebook Live. It's not recorded. So some of my craziest videos where I've tried to make this healthy dinner and my kids have come up over my shoulder with their cotton candy or whatever it is, have gotten me the most interest and the most amount of traffic. So don't, some of the bloopers are actually going to be your best posts. Instagram stories and Snapchat are really going back to that know, like, and trust. They get to really see your personality and decide, they get to feel your vibe and decide whether or not they want to be part of your tribe. So they're really important. So don't be like unilateral, really play around with all of the different social media platforms. Instagram, I've just been really starting to get intentional with my hashtags in mainly trying to get new people. So, the same 10 people will like your stuff. And awesomely, a lot of them are coaches because they can jive with what you're saying, but we want like new people and new people that aren't coaches but might want to be coaches. So I like search hashtags. So I'll search like hashtag self-care RN or hashtag, whatever it is you're interested in, organic gardening, something, because you're going to look and find people who are interested in the same stuff you're interested in. And you'll get a nice contact that may or may not become part of your business, but they're just a kind of cool person that might live in Oklahoma or someplace like Washington or now even the UK that you can start a relationship with. So don't, just kind of play around with social media and hashtags. I'm going to post, this is something that I worked with my coach that was hugely helpful. So knowing who your ideal customer is and your ideal coach is. So she had me fill out, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to link, post some blank ones so you can use this and work with it. But your ideal customer avatar. So I have different ones. So I have a different avatar for the customers I'm looking for as for my, like the coach I'm looking for that I want to be on my team.
Diane, we have 3 minutes left. Just
okay. So I'll post that up on there with a little explanation. So that will guide your population and your post. So basically, my last comment is, because I kind of reiterated some of this other stuff, but when you run your monthly challenge group, I don't care if you have one person or the 10 or 15 you were hoping for, run it and run it exactly how you were going to run it. Because on a call I listened to on Melanie Mitro, she had mentioned that she was in a poorly attended challenge group of Lindsay Matway. And obviously we all know how that turned out. But what if she had canceled that challenge group and said, you know what, I don't have enough people. Can we do it next month? Or what do you think about, postponing it a couple of weeks? Because maybe then Melanie wouldn't have been able to do it. She would have lost her interest. And just so do it. The person that paid for that challenge pack deserves your attention as much as the 9 other people you were hoping that would get on board. So give them that one-on-one attention, rock that challenge group, and you will rock the rest of your business. So I think that's it. Hold on. I can't get over there.
Good job. Is that everything, Diane?
That's everything.
Oh my God. What a fantastic presentation. I took like 4 pages of notes, I swear to God.
Oh my gosh.
It was so good. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So there's not
the
a
wire.
ton of time to ask you questions here. So if anybody has any questions for Diane, please put them under the recording once I post this, and we'll make sure that Diane gets that, and so everybody can benefit from her. But I mean, you knocked it out of the park. That was awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Thank you.
we'll make sure that we get all the things that you're gonna include.
Yes, I'm gonna upload this stuff. I'll probably put them in the files. That way they'll be accessible. Like I said, I have all my scripts and stuff that I've done and templates. So obviously don't copy, everybody knows that, but because mine are super specific to me. But, I really like the one I developed with the Beachbody leads, because those are so blind. You don't want to be like, hey, I'm your Beachbody coach. Can I help you? Let me know if you need any help. I mean, nobody's going to respond. So anyway, thank you.
Very cool. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Great attendance tonight. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great night.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.